Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mike from M&R Automotive. Today we're installing two 11.5-inch light bars on a Ford Expedition. First thing you want to do is remove the 5.5mm screws that are along the side of the inner splash guard as well as on the bottom. There's only one on the bottom on the driver's side, and there's two on the bottom on the passenger side. So these are 5.5mm. There's also 3 push pins that we have to remove. That's 1, 2, and 3. So now we're going to go ahead and take out the push pins. Just get a prying tool. So the next thing we want to do, there's 3 more screws that we have to remove. They are 10mm, and they hold the fender and the bumper together. So there's 2 that go vertically, and there's 1 that goes horizontally towards the front of the bumper. So now I'm going to show you. I'm going to take out 2 of these vertical. They're 10mm and they're gray. I'll show you when I take them out. So that's one on the edge, and there's one that's a little bit deeper. So the first one's somewhere here. There's a second one that's a little bit deeper within the fender. That's the second one that we've taken out. And then the third one is actually going this way. What would I like to do? I'm going to use an extension. I'm going to use, I think this is about a 12-inch extension. So this is the last one that was facing towards the front of the... Now let's go do the same thing on the passenger side, and then we're going to remove the bolts on the bottom. So now we're on the passenger side. I wanted to show you the 2 screws that we're going to remove on the passenger side, and there's only one that is on the driver. So this is for the inner liner. That's 1, and this is 2. The driver's side liner is a little bit different. It only has 1 5.5mm screw on the corner here, and then it's going to separate the liner from the bumper itself. I want to see this is completely free. So now we're actually ready to take it off. I'm gonna grab it and pull it out, and there shouldn't be anything else. Now it's just clips on top. I'm gonna separate the one on the passenger side, and then I'll work down the middle. Lift this up a little bit just to release these tabs. I'm gonna pull it up and outward. So now we can go ahead and remove it. So the last thing we have to do is just disconnect the harness for all the lighting and all the electronics in the bumper. So all you do is just pry this, lift this latch up, and that separates the 2 parts of the harness. So now that we unplugged the harness and got all the clips and bolts removed, we can go ahead and pull the bumper off. So now that we removed the bumper, we can go ahead and remove the grille. I see a couple bolts here. So it's a 10mm on the bottom. From the top, I see 4 10mm bolts here. There's 2 more nuts that are holding things on. There's one on the driver and one on the passenger. Let's start working on the clips. And there's clips here. It's a nice pry tool. It's plastic, so it's not going to damage anything. So you kind of go through all the clips. Okay, and then right here, the side. So now that all the clips are removed, we can go ahead and remove the grille. Now that we have the grille removed, we're getting ready to install the brackets. So now that I have the grille facing me, this is the bottom of it, where the styrofoam piece is. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the factory bolt. I'm gonna slide the larger M&R bracket, and I'm gonna reinstall the same bolt through the eyelid. So the actual eyelid for the light bar is going to be facing down, and the bend of the bracket is towards the inside of the grille. And now I'm going to do the outside one. I'm going to take out the factory screw, and I'm going to go ahead and slide the M&R bracket. So now we have the 2 eyelids to install the light bar. Now I'm going to go ahead and finger thread the bolts for the sides of the light bar on both sides, and then we're going to center it so that way it sits in the opening. These light bars, because of the shape of the grille, it's not parallel to the grille itself. They have to be a little bit at an angle when they're installed. So you'll be able to do the final adjustment of the actual light bars when the grille is reinstalled, so that way we can have this facing forward. So now on the driver's side of the grille, we're going to go ahead and remove the inner screw. We're going to slide the M&R bracket, okay? And now the same thing on the outer screw. So now we're going to go ahead and thread the light bar. So when doing the wiring, I actually made a mistake. It's a good opportunity for me to go back. The wiring should be on the inside because we're going to fuse the 2 light bars here in the center. So I made a mistake when installing the light bar itself, so I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, so that's going to make it easier to crimp and connect it to a power source. Each light bar has two wires coming from it. There's a red wire, which is the positive, and a black wire, which is the ground. So now the next thing we have to do is fuse these two together. M&R is going to provide this wiring harness and a couple of crimp connectors in order to fuse these together and take it to a power source. First step is take both of the positives, which are the reds, and we are going to fuse them together. We're going to do the same thing for the blacks, which are the grounds, and then we're going to put a crimp connector on it and one on the black wire. So now with the supplied wire that you have, you're going to go red to red, black to black. Now that everything is connected, let's go ahead and install it back on the Expedition and get a power source for our light bars. The wiring system that we're going to use is the wireless module. So I want to kind of go over it and show you how we're going to connect it and go through all the steps. What you get here will be the actual module itself. This module allows you to connect 8 different power sources, so it'll take care of multiple accessories. And then the main benefit of it is that it's wireless. You do not have to drag any wires inside the vehicle in order to control the module itself. And it's super easy to install. All you need is just a positive and negative to the battery, and we connect our accessories to it. So when looking at the module itself, you do have a positive here. So this is where the positive cable is going to go. You have a ground that you're going to connect to here, and then it just gets connected to the battery. So here's the additional wiring that you get with the kit. You do have the main fuse here, which is an 80 amp fuse. When I do any type of wiring, I like to disengage the fuse so that way there's no power going through it. So right now when it's in line, that means that there is power going through the module. So what you want to do is press the button so that way it snaps out of the way. So now it's in a reset mode and there's going to be no power. We're going to connect this to the battery. We're going to connect this side to the module itself. So I'm going to take this here. I'm going to feed it under. I'm going to loosen the positive terminal. Slide this here. And we're going to go ahead and tighten that bolt. Let's feed the extra slack through. And we're going to do the same thing for the ground. We're going to feed the black cable through it. Tighten this bolt. Okay, now we're ready to connect this to the battery. Okay, so when we come to the battery, we're going to go ahead and loosen the 10mm bolt. We're going to slide the positive terminal underneath it. And we're going to go ahead and tighten it. So now we're going to have power to our module. We're going to do the same thing for the ground. So now we have the power and ground. So now that we have the two power sources from the light bar, we're going to connect it to the module. I'm going to slide this underneath. We're going to use a 10 amp circuit for this. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen the terminals. I'm going to slide the red and black wires inside, which is the positive and the ground. And we're going to tighten them back up. So red is the positive, black is the ground. Turn on the master fuse, so now there's power going through it. And now we can go ahead and test it to see if everything's wired correctly. So we did use switch number 3. And here's the two light bars. Very discreet inside the grille, and I love the way it looks. We're gonna go ahead and put the bumper back on, and we're gonna do some light output videos. Please stay tuned, and I know you're gonna love the product. Thank you very much for watching.